Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. DC TechNet is your own channel, so do like, share and subscribe the channel. It motivates us to create new content. So today again we'll continue our session on focusing on how to answer, and today's topic would be DNS basic concept. So DNS is again a prominent service which any interviewer will ask questions on. So we have selected only two questions on how to answer. And the first question would be explain resource records in DNS, and the second would be explain DNS zones. So these are the two questions which are 99% asked in any Windows admin or systems admin interview related to DNS. Of course, there are a lot of other questions as well on DNS, but these are the prominent questions asked in any Windows interview for DNS. Now, if you want to know more about DNS, for example, what is DNS, how DNS works, why we require DNS, if you want to see some labs, configuration, so please leave a comment. We will create an entire deep dive series on DNS. But in this particular session, we'll be only focusing on how to answer the question, what are DNS records and the DNS zones. So let's get started. So we'll focus on the question, how to answer the question, what are DNS records? So even I ask this question in every interview I conduct, or I used to conduct some years ago, and I used to get some common answers, common way. And people always start with all the resource records one by one, host A, PTR, MX, CNAME, SRV, NS, SOA, so on and so forth. And then they go ahead and explain each and every resource record. So this is a common way which I have experienced. I have taken more than 1,000 interviews. This is the common way which I have experienced. But how we should answer to stand out of the crowd? So start with computer networks work on numbers, and we humans remember names and not numbers. So there has to be some mechanism that will work as an interface between computer networks and humans, and DNS is this particular mechanism. DNS is a name resolution service which resolves host names to corresponding IP address, and DNS maintains a database that consists of resource records, and there are different resource records for different usage. And there are several resource records: host A, PTR, MX, CNAME, SRV. And then you have to explain each and every record one by one. For example, host A will resolve host name to IP address. PTR will work exactly opposite as host A. It will resolve IP address to host name, and so on and so forth. So this is the way we have to answer the question related to DNS resource records. So the question comes in our mind, why should we take up this approach rather than the first approach? Absolutely, there are two reasons. Number one, you are giving some background to the interviewer, that you know the concept from the root. Number one. Number two, you are killing time. Time is the most important factor in an interview. So you're taking your own time to answer the question, and you're, say, killing the time. So these are the, say, two prominent answers for the question why to answer in this particular fashion. So the next question is explain DNS zones. So we'll understand how to answer this question. And again, common way is, say, most of the people start with, there are two zones in DNS, forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. But this is not correct. This is incorrect answer. The answer itself is incorrect, but 99% of the people who I asked this question answered this question saying that there are two zones in DNS, forward lookup and reverse lookup. So let's see how we should answer to stand out of the crowd. So DNS zones are used to host DNS records for a particular domain. And there are 4 zones in DNS, namely primary zone, secondary zone, stub zone, and Active Directory integrated zone. And then you can start explaining every zone one by one. For example, primary zone is the read-write copy of, say, DNS database. Secondary zone is the read-only copy of any other DNS server's primary zone, and so on and so forth. So this is just a picture for you. Say types of zones in DNS: primary, secondary, stub, and Active Directory integrated. So as I told you earlier, if you want to know more about DNS, what is DNS, why DNS, say how DNS works, you want some labs, some, say, troubleshooting, tips and tricks, please leave a comment. We will create an entire, say, series on DNS. So let's summarize what we have seen today. So we have seen how to answer any question which says, what are DNS resource records? And we have also seen how to answer the question, explain DNS zones. And we have also seen why to answer the questions in that particular, say, manner. So thank you for joining today's session. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you feel this channel is helping you to learn anything new, do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And have a wonderful day.